to Rebooting Liberty.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world on the internet, we're coming to you live from the CCRS studios, WNJC 1360. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with your host, Rick Trader. The Conservative Commandos radio show, where the newsmakers go to be heard. Businessman there, drink my wine. You can call the Conservative Commandos radio show at 856-227-1360. Your opinion counts at 856-227-1360.
This is Congressman Alan West, and you're listening to the Conservative Commando Radio Show.
Welcome, everybody, and welcome, fellow patriots, and welcome once again to the Conservative Commandos Radio Show. I'm Rick Trader, coming to you live from the studios of the Conservative Commandos Radio Network, WNJC 1360, our flagship station in Philadelphia, and around the world on the internet with CPR Worldwide Media, Leading Edge Radio Network, TalkStream Live, The Pundit Press, SHR Media, K98 Talk, iHeartRadio, Roar Radio, and AM/FM 24/7. And joining me today as my co-host is the patriot from the Garden State of New Jersey. That's Anna Little. Anna, welcome to the Conservative Commandos Radio Show.
Glad to be with you, Rick.
Great to have you with us, my friend. And boy, did you watch the debates last night?
I did. I got a pretty good taste of all those candidates, and more importantly, the adversity that the media has for anybody who's a Republican, which is really quite, I don't want to say it's astonishing, because I guess it's a known quantity for most of us who have been active in politics, especially conservatives who've been active in politics. But it is an atrocity, and we shouldn't permit it. The media is supposed to be governed by some measure of journalistic integrity, and they are supposed to be reporting and facilitating getting the truth out, not hewing things and spinning things for one political party over another. And it's become clear, I guess, during the Obama race, and it's continuing with the support for the candidacy of Hillary Clinton, that they are liberal, and they're going to stay liberal, and they are not going to give conservatives or Republicans, even that, for that matter, a fair shake. And those questions were definitely not appropriate. And I think most viewers, especially because it was a Republican debate, most viewers are in agreement on that.
Well, it's, and I think they've actually doubled down. I think it's worse than at any time before, and it's almost like a reality show in a sense. I guess that's what, for me, makes it interesting. These debates, when they're so controlled by the moderators, I think that we should have debates, but the candidates should question each other. Forget these moderators and their agendas and trying to make themselves stars. I just wonder, Anna, if it isn't time for the GOP to buy its own airtime to sponsor and hold their own debates. Forget MSNBC.
That's right, and we need to have a media that would be fair.
Well, we don't have it, and that's the problem. So I think it's up to the GOP to buy the airtime themselves, sponsor their own debates. I really do.
Oh, I say that would work.
Better than what would it be better than what we got? I mean, I think if you look at last night's debate, in my opinion, what made it interesting was, for instance, Ted Cruz started fighting back. We're going to have a guest today, Craig Bannister. He's from MRC TV and CNS News, discussing today. We're going to play a clip or two from the debate. But I was glad to see we had somebody like a Ted Cruz that stuck up to the media and told them about the ridiculous questions they were asking, because they really are.
Yeah, I think we definitely had a number of candidates who stood up against the media. I know Marco Rubio had a few choice words to say as well. Mm-hmm. I think Jeb Bush's response to Marco Rubio was a little bit off. Mm-hmm. I don't think it helped him. Mm-hmm. But, hey, listen, here's the upside. On the Republican side, we've got a lot of action. We've got a lot of people to choose from. I would say that your moderates, Kasich being one of them, Graham being another one, or I guess Graham we usually call a social conservative, but he acted like a moderate last evening. When they talked about compromise, that did not give them points. I think, if anything, it may have turned them toward elimination for most of the viewers. So I think, we are starting to narrow the field, and these debates are an opportunity to flush out what the true opinions are of the different individuals on the stage. And I think that last night's debate was definitely a positive in that respect. Mm-hmm. And, God forbid, on the Democrat side, Hillary Clinton actually get indicted. They have no one. Bernie Sanders is not going to cut the mustard.
Well, I think it's a very long shot that Hillary Clinton is going to be indicted. I agree. That's just my personal feeling about it. I think if that did happen, that would bring people like John Kerry, Al Gore, Joe Biden. I think it would bring those people out of the woodwork. Democrats always have a way of pulling somebody out of the woodwork. And you're from New Jersey. Remember Senator Robert Torricelli?
Yes, I do.
And you remember what happened the last time he was up for re-election?
I think Lautenberg came out of retirement. Am I right?
That is correct.
Yeah, I remember
that late.
And broke election laws to do it.
Yeah, there were about a month before the election, long before there was supposed to be any changes made by law to the ballot. Mm-hmm. The Democrats saw that Torricelli was going to lose. I forget who he was up against. Was it Doug Forrest?
It might have been Doug Forrester.
Yeah, Doug Forrester. And at the last minute, they pull a switch. They bring Lautenberg out of retirement. Lautenberg got reelected, served, I don't know how many, 18 years till he died, 12 years till he died. But it took death to get him out of the seat. So what I'm getting at, Anna, is I don't put anything past the Democrats. I really don't.
Okay, that's fair.
I think Chris Christie had a good line last night. You know what? You know me personally. I am not a Chris Christie fan. But during debate, he looked at one moderator in the eye and said, even in New Jersey, what you're doing is called rude. I thought that was a good
Well, he's right about that.
Oh, God. Also, during the debate, both Rubio and Trump accused the moderators of having their facts wrong, and facts are just a little thing that gets in the way of a liberal,
Yeah.
Don't let a good story. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. So, what else is on your radar screen today?
Well, they've had this latest release from the Center for Biomedical Truth or something like that. They've had this latest release for Planned Parenthood. Expose continues, and there hasn't been a lot of coverage on it. I'm trying to pull it up right now, but they actually have people on tape behind closed doors. There was a speech by a Margaret Sanger Award recipient who spoke about the fact that yes, we need to acknowledge, stop debating whether the fetus is human or not. Everybody knows the fetus is what it is. Every mother that walks into an abortion clinic knows what they're doing and what is in their belly. Sonograms have proven that. Science has proven that. You got to get away. You got to just give it to the pro-lifers. And so that's really an interesting angle. And then the other part of the expose that I think is very significant is that they're talking about harvesting of brain tissue from the fetus. And when you put those two things together, the fact that these individuals not only know they're dealing with a human being, preborn, but a human being, and that they're harvesting brain tissue, and then they're talking about how difficult it is as abortion providers to find mental and emotional support for what they're doing, and how difficult it is to do that because it's so difficult to talk about, and they have to open it up now and be able to talk about it, because they need to heal from the damage that they cause themselves by doing all of this. And it just begs the question, why are we doing it at all? I mean, if science proves these are human beings, and if the abortion providers are having mental and emotional breakdowns doing this work and are seeking therapy and the opportunity to talk openly about this clandestine situation, why are we doing it at all? It seems like it's morally and unethically wrong, and it should be legally wrong. If everybody's having such a tough time with it, it just shouldn't be. Am I right? I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense to me either. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know how these people can sleep at night. I don't know how they can live with themselves. Maybe they have to put it out of their minds that they're actually destroying human life in order not to go crazy.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you some links, listeners. The Center for Medical Progress, that's the name of the group. Center for Medical Progress. If you Google that, you'll come up with the most recent news. One of them is from National Review Online 2 days ago. You didn't hear about this in the mainstream media. I may give them the fact that it's a rather busy news cycle, but they didn't mention it at all. And National Review describes this. Ian Tuttle did the argument. It says, after a long delay, the Center for Medical Progress is out with a new, typically ghastly Planned Parenthood video. And it's, again, Dr. Amna Dermish. She'll pull out like kidneys and a heart, and like heart, we frequently, and then it just goes on. So, frankly, this needs to be exposed. We need to talk about it more. The more these videos come out, the more clear it becomes that we're dealing with human beings. Everybody knows it, and it's just wrong. So we've got to take some action here. And, of course, listeners, I'm talking to you because you are the activist, and you've got the social media ability to spread these things around. LifeNews.com, which has been a terrific source to me about this information, 2 days ago wrote an article entitled 11th Video Catches Planned Parenthood Abortion Doc Selling Aborted Babies' Heads. And this is where we go for the information about harvesting the fetal brain tissue, which is human brain tissue. It says here, the 11th video released from the Center for Medical Progress in the ongoing Planned Parenthood baby parts scandal shows the abortion doctor for Planned Parenthood in Austin, Texas, Amna Dermish, caught on tape describing a partial birth abortion procedure to terminate living late-term unborn babies, which she hopes will yield intact fetal heads for brain harvesting. I'm not going to say any more. You look it up. That's on lifenews.com. And then the third article that I just want to call your attention to is, again, from the Center for Medical Progress, who has released the videos. They own the videos. Planned Parenthood Texas Doc, harvesting intact fetal heads will give me something. Well, I don't know what you can get other than horror out of that. He says, my aim is usually to get the specimens out pretty intact, especially the 20-weekers are a lot.
Oh, my God.
Weekers. So at that point, I'll switch to breech. And that's trying to manipulate the abortive process so that the head comes out last.
This is terrible.
It's really terrible. So, and that one is with the Center for Medical Progress.org. So again, the mainstream media is not paying attention. It's up to us to make sure they do pay attention. Whatever goes out on social media in high volume, they end up reporting about. So let's get to work, ladies and gentlemen. The unborn children are waiting to be defended. They don't have a voice. We have to defend the voice for. These are human beings. Even the other side acknowledges that in these most recent releases. Let's get this done. Let's get the attention that it deserves. And let's also support and lobby those who haven't 100% come on board. But let's support the defunding of Planned Parenthood from taxpayer dollars. This does not put Planned Parenthood out of business, but it does take your tax dollars away from funding this.
I wish it would put them out of business, and I sincerely wish it would. Hey, Anna, we are up against a break. You are listening to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Anna Little and Rick Trader, coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos radio network, WNJC 1360 in Philly, and around the world on the internet with CPR Worldwide Media, Leading Edge Radio Network, TalkStream Live, The Pundit Press, SHR Media, K98 Talk, iHeartRadio, Roar Radio, and AM/FM 24/7.com. Today's show, like all our shows, is brought to you by the First Amendment, protected by the Second. And then I shall be right back.